Here in the Big Apple, New York, as the Knicks play one at home. Bringing us your call on Monday night, it's the NBA on TV Sports. Kevin Harlan here along with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. A quick check of our starting lineups. State Farm shows who will hit the floor first. Someone we'll be keeping an eye on certainly today, Jeremy Lin.
You can see with the presence he had as soon as he became a starter that Jeremy Lin can be a leader for this team. He's an underdog story for sure, but he doesn't view himself that way. He's a confident, aggressive, attacking type player.
He just doesn't give up on anything, including his shot, Steve. I like the way he plays, how hard and hungry he plays. And he's also humble, so he's a 3H guy. Hard, hungry, and humble. And that'll serve him well going forward.
The road trip to the Rockets ends here as they leave for Houston right after the game. They're faced now with what is probably the easiest part of their schedule. They've got a lot of home games on the docket, but they can't take anything, guys, for granted.
Right now for the Rockets, they've been terrific in the early going this year. I mean, it looks like all the decisions they made in the offseason were right on point. Their plan's really working for them.
Yeah, I think it's been impressive what they've done, especially given the fact that the expectations were not that high coming into the season. So they've just kind of gone about their business quietly, put together a nice solid year to this point, and we'll see if they can keep it rolling. And guys, you can see why the Knicks signed Tyson Chandler to that free agent deal coming into last season. The defense, the shot blocking, the leadership, the communication. He's kind of the quarterback at the defensive end of the floor for New York.
Kidd kicks to Anthony. Chandler dishes to Kidd. Some nice passing by New York here. Shumpert passes to Kidd. Pass to Anthony. Back to Kidd. Fires for three. And it's a Sheik with the rebound. And Tyson Chandler, Clark, last season's Defensive Player of the Year. Wouldn't you say he's been probably exactly what the Knicks needed?
Yeah, hand and glove fit, but he would have been that way for any team because of his defensive IQ and his production at that end of the floor.
Here's Shumpert. It's going to be two free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Letting the offense get right to the rim, but a smart play to foul once he's there.
But you know what's going to happen, and they sent a message right there. Nothing easy inside. Iman Shumpert last season started off playing at point guard for the Knicks, a position he played at Georgia Tech, but it would seem he's better off long-term at the 2 or 3 spot. More of a slasher than he is a playmaker and an excellent defender to boot.
We're all hoping he comes back from that blown knee he suffered in the playoffs against Miami. Now here's Shumpert. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Cleveland. The Rockets have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far.
And you might not mention blocks as the key to win, but I think you do in this case. They were really dominant defensively.
Well, when you come up with as many denials as they did, rejections that is, it's impossible not to mention. I mean, it was a great game for this defense. Always some entertainment value when you go with the windmill.
Yeah, rim shaker and Steve a wrist break.
Outrageous. Man.
And Shumpert, as you mentioned, Clark, started off playing point guard, but the Knicks concluded that he was better off playing on the wing. Steve, you agree with that assessment?
Oh, no question, Kevin. He's not a natural point guard, but he is a good ball handler. I think you can play him as a combo guard, maybe off the bench, come in for either the point or the 2. But he's a tremendous defensive player, high energy, and incredible athlete. So, yeah, major asset for his team.
Now, here's Patterson, following the miss by Carmelo Anthony. Here's lights out. The basket good off the assist from Lin.
That's what a good solid screen will do for you. It gets you a good look at the hoop.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Well, Kevin McHale had a few moments for me. His team ended up on the losing side when they first played the Knicks. But they feel as though they have some advantage on them this time around, saying we got to see a bit of what they like to do on offense. Now that we know their tendencies, we can try and limit them getting the ball to Melo and Amari and force them to rely on others to score the ball. We'll see if it works, guys.
Thank you, Doris. And now the Knicks on the break. Kids running. And a foul caught on the shot. Got him on the way up then. He'll shoot 2 right here.
And I think, guys, we'll never stop talking about that Knicks trade for Carmelo Anthony. such a fascinating deal. Everyone thought the Knicks probably made out the best getting Carmelo, but you look at Denver, the pieces they were able to add, and that's a pretty intriguing deal, really, for both teams.
Lonnie Brewer's checked in for the Knicks. And then for Houston, Jawan Johnson's checked in for Ashiq. Marcus Morris comes in for Patrick Patterson. And Tony Douglas is subbed in for Lights Out. Rarely does a deal actually work out, Steve, for both sides, but both the Knicks and the Nuggets made the postseason last year, and both teams, I think, Clark, certainly got what they wanted.
Yeah, and we're still in the early stages of Melo's career, Kevin. Certainly as it relates to him being with the Knicks, so he could ultimately become that player they're looking for as far as a leader goes. Let's see how it plays out going forward.
Here is Brewer, following the score by Kevin Martin. 5 on the clock. The Rockets pull it in. This is their second outing of the season against the Knicks.
Yeah, that was a great game. Both teams played really well. In the end, they just couldn't pull it out.
New York trailing, coming into this having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
Well, they benefited from some very loose play from their opponents that night.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, there were a lot of turnovers in that game. Some were caused by their good defensive play, but some were just careless.
Clark, in the last time, you might recall, it came down to free throw shooting.
Well, that typically can be the case in any kind of a close game. Maybe a little extra time at the line after practice. Who knows? Maybe that helps some of the guys. But it clearly makes a difference when you can knock down your free throws in a tight ball game.
Now here's Shumpert, following the miss by Kevin Martin. Kid attacking. This is DeBrew. New York needs to get off a shot. Now here's Douglas, covered by Brewer. Johnson against Anthony, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And as always, this part of the NBA season, quite a grueling part of the schedule. Right now, let's check out how the standings are shaping up in the East. Taking a look at Miami. And of course, there's the Knicks, 3 games behind.
Right now for the Knicks, they've got to be very pleased with how this campaign has kicked off for them.
Well, it's been a good start, and they'd like to keep it going. Obviously, the NBA season being so long, it's tough to maintain a start like this. But all they can do is just focus on each and every game and try to keep this momentum that they've built here in the early going. Houston for the last several years has tried to get a star player on their roster. But it's so difficult to do. There's only about 10 of them in the entire league. But what they've done is they've put a lot of good players on the floor. They've built their asset base, and they're poised to make a deal when the right one comes their way.
Really, if you don't have a top 10 player in the league, you just continue to gather talent, and that's what the Rockets have really done.
Yeah, and you call that stockpiling assets. If you aren't building around someone, then you get as many good assets as you can because they're always movable. And I think Houston has done a nice job with that. They're in a position to add pieces or either trade for additional pieces now.
Now here's Anthony. 6 points for him. Good on the shot. Anthony's got 8 points.
This is a very steady performance offensively for him.
Felton against Douglas. Leads him in there.
Oh, ridiculous move. Tore it down that time.
Boy, taking it hard to the rack for the big throwdown.
And give an unofficial assist, Clark, to his teammate for setting the screen that freed him up.
Good call, Kevin. That was really the key.
Here's Lights Out. He picked up 12 points in their last one against the Raptors in Toronto. So with Stoudemire sitting on the bench, here's who Mike Woodson's going with. Up front, it's Carmelo Anthony and Tyson Chandler. Lamont Shumpert is out there with Felton. And it's Brewer in at the 3, the small forward.
And again, the lead changes hands.
Yep, back and forth we go, Steve. I mean, back and forth. Neither side caving in.
Passes it to Patterson. Here's Lights Out. Back to Patterson. The 3 is launched. And the officials call over the back. A little too aggressive there.
Well, he gave the officials no choice there. Ball went right over the top.
Yeah, he's got to go straight up when he's under the boards in that kind of traffic. Can't chest first into the man in front of you. That's a foul.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Sheik is checked in for Patterson. Martin comes in for Gary Forbes. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Tony Douglas. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you hear?
Hi, guys. Lights out in their last game against the Raptors made a big difference. He had 12 points and was on the mark from deep, draining several times. His coach called it a breakout game for him and said that this was the kind of performance they knew he was capable of when they brought him on board. Now can he sustain it?
And Doris obviously helping their cause, Clark, in a huge way.
It's good to come off a game like that. But I always say, each game, you got to treat it as an individual task. It's an entity in and of itself. Go out at the start fresh and don't rely on your past performance.
Yeah, but you can use that performance, Clark, for confidence and just for your overall makeup as a player, how you feel about yourself going into the next one. So there can be some carryover.
Here's Anthony. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Supreme confidence offensively for Carmelo Anthony. He's been one of the most deadly shot shooters in the game over the last few seasons. Always ready to step up and score in pressure situations.
Raymond Felton, he's checked in for New York. Tony Douglas is checked in for the Rockets. Both free throws good from Anthony.
You know, you talk about that clutch scoring ability for Carmelo Anthony. It all comes back to, I think, his size, versatility, ball handling ability, and that quick trigger release on the jump shot. It's really difficult to keep him from getting the shot he wants.
Shot's good. Anthony's got 4 points in the quarter.
You can just see what his offense means to this team. I mean, it's obvious. They really rely on him to score the basketball.
Here's Lin. And nothing is falling for him right now. The Knicks leading by 4. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Pump that one.
Rarely misses the opportunity to score inside his position.
You know, the thing he might do better than anything else, guys, is bang the offensive line. He really works hard.
Let's have a look at the league's top scorers for the past month. You see, these guys have been hot. And the Rockets with possession here. Here's lights out. And so he draws the foul on the shot and on trip to the line to shoot 2.
Boy, what a disjointed season for New York last year. High expectations with the addition of Tyson Chandler. Then you had the rise of Jeremy Lin. But the team was so up and down. And then Mike Woodson took over and actually did a pretty nice job getting the Knicks to the playoffs.
And the Rockets making a change here. Parsons is checked in. Felton takes the shot. Back to Felton. Tries for the alley-oop. Chandler, no good. And when Woodson took over after Linsanity had died down, it didn't have the same media attention. But, Clark, the results were clearly there. They had some momentum, and they took on Miami in the first round of the playoffs.
I thought under Woodson, the team did a nice job rallying and fighting their way into the 7th seed in Eastern Conference. They had a lot of work to do after their bad start, but they found a way to get it done. And credit the players, but also credit Mike Woodson.
Catching up on the changes for New York. Kurt Thomas, he's checked in for Anthony. And J.R. Smith's subbed in for Iman Shumpert.
Solid advantage in the rebounding totals so far here.
In every game, but particularly in a close game, every little advantage you can use helps. They're certainly enjoying one on the glass here.
Pocket 6. Here's Lights Out. Hands it from downtown. Lights Out's got 8 points here in this quarter.
That's now 6 straight points off open threes. Get a hand up, fellas. Pay attention to the scouting report.
You know how quickly things can go south when you start giving up wide open looks to this team.
Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. He kicks to Parsons. Here's lights out. He feeds it to Patterson. Some nice passing there by Houston. And you know that's going to be goaltending, guys. So that's a free basket right there.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Not a popular call, as you can hear in the background.
Not at all. Unanimous disapproval of that whistle.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. Marcus Camby. He's checked in for Chandler. Anthony comes in for Ronnie Brewer. Ramon Shumpert is checked in for J.R. Smith. Jason Kidd is subbed in for Raymond Felton. Rockets leading by 8.
When you think of Kevin McHale, you think of a Hall of Fame basketball player. In his days with the Celtics, he was phenomenal. 7 All-Star appearances. He won 3 championships, playing next to Robert Parrish and Larry Bird. Boy, he was something.
Lights out. Number 40. Good. Off the front side.
My name is
Yeah, they're trying to get a little more separation, Steve, and they actually have a chance to do it the way they're making plays at both ends.
1:02 left in the first half of basketball. And going back to Kevin McHale's play, he's one of the great low-post scorers. All-time
So when you think of low post guys, to me, McHale, with that litany of moves he had down the block, was just incredible. Amazing player, part of that dynasty in Boston during the 80s. That was something to watch.
Soft defense right there. Way too soft.
Knicks trail by 12. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
We've got 22 seconds left here in the second. 6 on the shot clock. Three-pointer. Kidd. Out to Anthony. Back to Thomas. Backing in. Shot denied. Here's Parsons. Shot misses. And so that's the end of the first half. Rockets on top, up by 12.
The Rockets.
And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Now let's go straight to the Monday night halftime report. The Houston Rockets in front against New York. They're really working that ball around, doing a nice job keeping the D off balance. It's been a lights-out clinic in this one against New York. High percentage looks in the first half. Amazing work from the field, shooting in the high 60s. That's big-time bucket buying. The Knicks on the other side, not looking as crisp. They've been getting roundly outplayed up to this point, and they'll need a bounce-back effort to make up for it in the second half. A difficult first half for Jason Kidd. He'll be happy to change baskets, even told his coach the lid was on that side of the court. Thanks so much for joining me here in studio. Second half action is coming right up. We hope you enjoy the rest of the game.
Midtown Manhattan as we prepare to return to action.
What a great game for Anthony in this one. 16 points and 2 assists. You know what? It was the polar opposite of a slow start for him. He was instantly on fire in this game.
He really was just an offensive dynamo in the first half.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. So on the floor for Houston. Lights out. He's in a shooting guard. Patterson plays down low with the sheet. Martin is out there. Jeremy Lin. Anthony with the bucket.
But Noel Anthony might be the best scorer in the league in terms of just pure skill and talent. He can do it all. He can shoot threes. He can pull up mid-range shots. He can get all the way to the rim. He gets to the foul line. One-on-one, he's almost impossible to deal with.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, guys, Knicks coach Mike Woodson asked Amari Stoudemire to spend his summer working on developing his low post moves. Amari said, "It's actually great because I've never had a coach that asked me to work on my low post game. I've been a pick-and-roll player my whole career. Being able to shoot the ball from outside and also have a quick first step is an advantage for me. And now to apply some low post moves will even be that much better." Kevin, you have to love the Arsenal.
a scary thought. Thanks, Doris.
And a smart move. I mean, if he loses some of his quickness, he can still use his strength on the low block.
Shumpert, no good. And for Carmelo Anthony, Stevie talked about him as a one-on-one scorer. Clark, you played small forward. How would you try to slow him down?
Well, it's difficult defensively. I think you'd have to attack him at his defensive end, make him work, try to have him use energy dealing with you, pounding, banging, go at him, and try to take some of the starch out of his offensive shirt. A lot of tough teams in this league, Kevin. Here's where New York sits right now. 7th in steals, 7th in blocks. They are in the top third of the league in assists. The quality of players they have, you thought they might be better there, but not bad.
What they try to do, Clark, is pressure the ball. I mean, you talked about the steals per game, and that's the key number of all those stats. They pressure the ball to really create havoc to the offense. When you take it out of the flow of your offense, it really makes the ball stop. The game becomes very difficult for the offensive team.
And let's see which big men have had the softest touch lately with this look at the leading field goal percentages among centers and power forwards in the last 10 games. Take a look at Patterson, a great player, second in the league.
You know, it's one thing to be able to create high-quality shots for yourself, but you still have to finish. There's no doubt all those guys can do both.
Yeah, every sentence needs a period. It's one thing to get the shot off, but you need to finish. You need to take care of business in there. Most of their chances are easy ones.
Rockets lead by 12. York foul.
You know, some folks would look at the Rockets last year and say maybe they overachieved given their lack of a true superstar, Kevin, but I disagree. I mean, they are a young team that has some depth, and they've got some talented players. I say keep an eye on the Rockets.
Well, Clark, with the Rockets, it's true. You know, they might have snuck up on some teams, but I agree. They have the talent to play well consistently. Well coached, and Steve, I think, headed in the right direction.
I agree, Kevin. I think they've done a nice job of amassing a lot of talent the last few years. But the question is the pieces fit? And where do they go from here? Ultimately, you have to make the puzzle work. And I think that's where Houston is right now, just still trying to figure it all out.
To the inside. Taken away by Anthony.
That's taking a strong right there.
And finishing in style.
You feel a sense of anticipation when he heads for the hoop because that's what he can do.
The sparkly point really gave you a good look at the action. Here's lights out. Gives him a lead pass. Here's Patterson. The Rockets with another miss.
Well, as far as jump shots go, that's as high percentage as it gets. I'm not
And that look right there on Clark says it all.
He's not alone, Kevin. That was just mean right there.
Martin gets to Patterson. Here's lights out. Traps in the tray. Lights out's got 18 points in the game.
Those are shots he shouldn't be afraid to take. He can make them.
Shumpert with it. 9 points in the game so far. Chandler with a screen for Shumpert. He dishes it to Chandler. Working on a Sheik. Kidd attacking. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot two.
Well, we know about Jason Kidd. He's always been a very unique player offensively. A guy who wants to get his teammates involved, but he himself has evolved into a very good three-point shooter. Kind of a spot-up guy, but he'll still post you up in transition if he has an advantage.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. Marcus Camby. He's checked in for Chandler. Thomas comes in for Amari Stoudemire. Lonnie Brewer's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And J.R. Smith subbed in for Amari Shumpert. Smith, the best kid. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. Look at the Lakers. Of course, there's the Rockets. Just a couple of spots back.
Seeing where the Rockets are, they've been rolling along beautifully to start the season. They've got the media, their fans, and most importantly themselves believing this is going to be a special year.
Well, you look at how they finished last year to where they are now, and you understand why there's so much excitement surrounding this team. They've got some confidence, there's belief, as you said, Clark, and when the fans are finally excited like they are now you know you got something special.
Rises up and throws it down.
The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, the D pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark. Wouldn't
Yes,
you?
sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
That was embarrassing.
Shumpert is just a Smith. The shot is off.
And that's the way it's been. A big margin for them in the rebounding category.
You know, sometimes you got to get down and dirty and do the dirty work. And this one, they've done it. It's paid off on the scoreboard in a big way.
Here's Patterson. Good. Patterson's got 7 points now.
So they just get hammered inside. They really need to find a way to be tougher down there. They got to be physical. They got to man up in there.
I agree. If you look at the points they're giving up, most of them seem to be coming inside the paint.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Sheik is checked in for Chandler Parsons. Martin comes in for Gary Forbes. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Lamb. Kidd kicks to Smith. Lets it go with the 3. They get it back. Stoudemire. No luck.
And they force the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit.
Kicks to Lin. Over Kidd. Shot is off. And New York the other way now. And Clark, they're going to have to make a pretty big comeback here.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think the clock is a factor right now, at least not yet. I mean, they don't need to change their pace of play. Keep attacking.
Yeah, I agree. You got to make sure you take your time, but start to be more effective and efficient with each possession. And you got to buckle down defensively.
Here's lights out. Outside for Martin. For 3. Gets it to go. Martin's got 14 points.
Big mistake not having more defensive pressure on him out there.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Smith, left side. They need this.
J.R. Smith with the shot. Nick Schlizer, 42.
Rockets lead by 14. Here's lights out. We got 33 seconds left in the third quarter of the game.
Well, I tell you, that was double duty right there. He influenced the shot and then got back and cleaned the glass.
Kidd attacking. Now here's Anthony. Out to Smith. Outside for Kidd. Now the dish to Novak. Back to Kidd. Jacks up a 3. That one goes. Kidd's got 6 points. Here's lights out. No good on that last second attempt there. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Rockets lead by 11. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports.
Make sure to pick up a copy of 2K Sports Magazine. Lights out.
Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. Who's had the Sprite uncontainable game in this one? Well, let's go to Doris Burke.
Hi, guys. The uncontainable game today came from the Houston Rockets. They had a plan to get an edge in this one, and they executed it perfectly. Hard to see them giving this one away in the final period.
Thanks, Doris. So with Stoudemire sitting on the bench, here's who Mike Woodson's going with. And we're out there with Chandler. And it's Chandler. Then there's Amari Shumpert. And it's Smith in at the 2 spot. Rockets leading by 8. Feeds it to Douglas. Now the feed to a Sheik. Here's lights out. There's one for 3 against the bucket. Lights out's got 21.
How about that? They respond to a three-pointer with a quick 3 of their own.
Yeah, terrific. Great back and forth sequence right there.
Smith outside. No one near him. And the Knicks getting another bucket right there.
Knicks track.
Houston's gone outside a lot tonight. 17 times, in fact. 7 of 17. Ball's not loose. loose. Brewer with the steal. By himself. Rips down the breakaway slam.
No way to mess that one up, Kevin. I mean, he powered it down with both hands.
Now this guy is a superb finish.
He is an absolute force when he gets near the hoop.
The pass to Patterson. Shot from 16. And he hits the jump shot. And the Rockets lead by 9. Douglas against Shumpert. He passes to Brewer. Chandler right side. Pass to Shumpert. Dishes to Brewer. And the layup falls.
Okay, that's more like it. Nice job with the second half. Field goal percentage is way up compared to what they did in the first half. But they shot a very low percentage, and it actually was just above 30%.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Kevin McHale coaching his team during that break. He told the players, let's put our foot on them and keep them down. We've got them exactly where we want them. I want to see you guys slow the pace, use the clock, and stay away from any silly fouls.
Thanks, Doris. Shots good by Sheik.
Well done, finishing that one off.
Knicks trail by 9. Outside Anthony. Throws up the alley-oop. And J.R. Smith with the slam.
There's one thing about the alley-oop. You can't fire the pass in there. You got to have some air under that pass. It needs a little hang time.
That's exactly right. A lot of finesse. Just like that one was. Perfectly thrown.
And that's what makes the play so much fun to watch. There's finesse on the front end, but then power on the end. There's Jeremy Lin. He's so good at driving the lane. Excellent ball handler, crafty finisher inside, stronger than he looks, and really understands angles. And that's how he's able to get that shot off in the lane.
First free throw is good.
And, you know, going back to Jeremy Lin, guys, his ability to finish in the lane is quite unique. I mean, he's really worked to develop his floaters and runners, whether off 1 foot or a jump stop. For a guard, that shot can really be a game changer inside. As a matter of fact, I think every guard needs to have that in his repertoire.
Puts up the baby hook. Up with it. And Chandler throws it down.
Well, he's an effort guy, Kevin. So often his points come from second or third chance opportunities by hitting the glass and really staying relentless in his pursuit of the basketball.
And Steve, what a shot blocker he is, too. I mean, you're taught that it's counterproductive to swat a ball into the 4th row. He just can't seem to help himself.
There's the bucket good. 8-point tier for Lin.
Well, they haven't gotten much production from him, but they remain in the lead.
Back to Anthony. Chandler with the screen on Martin. Here's Anthony. Kept alive. Chandler, the pass to Stoudemire. Tries again. And he zips to the basket and lays it in.
They're on track here in the second half after their less than impressive first half. And I think they came out with some tired legs to start. They've turned it around. They found some energy, and they look a lot more active and engaged.
Here's lights out. Beyond the arc. Stoudemire grabs the board. Stoudemire's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Smith for 3. The rebound by Patterson. Patterson's got rebound number 5 here tonight.
I think he's just got to compose himself, gather himself. He may be trying a little too hard out there. Let it flow. Let it happen. Don't force it.
Outside, Lin. Shot clock at 6. There's the triple. Rebound by Smith.
This just has not been his day so far.
Smith right side. Smith missing again. Rockets lead by 7. Here's lights out. Launches a 3. And the rebound goes to the Knicks. Kids got rebound number 5 here tonight. Anthony gets it to go on the assist by Kidd. Kidd's got 5 assists in the game.
He's been producing all night. It's up to the rest of his team to start kicking in a little bit.
Here's lights out. Covered by Smith. Here's lights out. And the rebound rebounded by Houston. Martin got his 5th rebound in this one. Then this is to a shoot. That is good. And the Rockets lead by 7. John checked in for J.R. Smith. There's a minute 34 left to play here in the fourth. Slam dunk by Shumpert. Here's lights out. Puts the lead pass in front of him. Taken away by Anthony. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
From Melo Anthony.
First free throw is good, and that shrinks the margin to just 4.
If you settle for outside shots like that, you're going to have a hard time cutting into this lead.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you look at them this half, they haven't got to the free throw line as much. And it's in part because of their willingness to settle on offense. It's a matter of not just taking what's available. Good teams take what they want as far as shot selection.
Houston moving the ball around. Here's the screen. Chandler comes with the double team. Here's lights out. Misses the trail.
But he has been struggling mightily in this quarter, guys.
True. He really seems to have tightened up a bit for whatever reason. Dixie looks tight. Huge bucket. You don't get much bigger than that, Steve.
We can probably expect to see him slow it down now.
Yeah, you got the lead. Burn some clock here.
Smart move.
Yeah.
And the Sheik backs in with the fadeaway. Good.
Defense has allowed him to get on this roll.
And that's a scary prospect, partner. If he catches fire, he can single-handedly win the ball game.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Anthony. No good. Good work defensively by Mark. And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
A few misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
Rockets have gone 6 of 12 from the field here in the fourth and even 50%. And now we've got the intentional foul. He drops the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And so he drops them both. It's a 5-point game.
Two-possession lead now, so strategically everything changes. Those were very important foul shots.
Kidd gets to Anthony. Shoots from the elbow. Back to Kidd. Pass to Shumpert. Kidd for the 3. The rebound by Patterson. And so they choose to intentionally foul. Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6. And the second one is off. Here's Shumpert. No good. So we see the Rockets get the win here. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark.
After the game, you were chosen as the Jordan Player of the Game. How does that make you feel?
It speaks more to the team than to myself, to be honest about it. I can't do anything out there without my teammates, and we worked as a unit today. When we get going like we did, we don't think there's a team in the league that can take us down. Great team win, man. Let's get another one next time out.